Hello there guys, it's Kelly Cottam. I've managed to completely change my frequency. I have literally cried and cried and cried and cried for the evening over everything that is going on, everything I feel, everything that has happened, everything that's going to happen if we don't bring an end to this now. Tomorrow morning, the UK papers are going to state that the conference has declared that paedophilia for males is completely normal. Tomorrow morning, you are hearing it here. The UK papers are going to announce that the conference, I don't know if my speakerphone is blocking you, I'm just going to go on. David has asked who are we going to war with. Well, one, we're in a war with ourselves, so it's time to end the war with ourselves, and it's time to go to war with them, and I mean fucking seriously, to war. What they're basically saying is that for a man, they're not even talking about women at the moment, they're just talking about the male side of paedophilia. What they're basically saying is that this stuff's been going on since the general days of the wars, where the general used to pull in, you know, all the harem of people that used to oversee the soldiers and the people, because basically what they're saying is, well, you know, when soldiers go to war, mate, they need to get rid of their blue balls after the event, and how they do that is a mass sex orgy. And as an ex-escort, as you know, I know full well that I got a lot of people ringing in for fantasies of me dressing up in school uniforms and things like that. I'd end up talking to them, trying to understand what was going on. Never did it. I once held myself against the wall and pretended I was being slashed once, and I did a couple of DM things, but, you know, threesomes, foursomes, what do you want to know about, you know, but what it did is it gave me into an insight, especially when you're fucking a magistrate judge, do you know what I mean, with another girl. So, you know, I learnt a lot on Pillow Talk, as well as just at university, through my own personal experiences, my understanding and my curiosity in why this is going on is not just personal with Aaron and Faith. And it certainly is personal with my two children. It started way before then. Don't forget I was in foster care myself. Don't forget I used to see kids coming and going all the time. You know, we had a newborn baby that it's twins that went back to the parents and had their arms broken. Do we know whether or not these kids had brittle bones disease? You know, I will never ever know. The problem with every individual case, I bloody haven't either. I've been on dimps, mate. Seriously. No, I have up there, but I've no papers either. God, you always save my ass as well.
Why?
I'm live, so just watch it. Your voice will go on live to the nation. Another guy who's out on the streets tonight. And, you know, do you know what? It's always the homeless guys who will help you out, mate. It's always the people on the bone of their asses who know what it's like to have to. And I'm not even just using smoking as an example, but, you know, when there's a need, or not necessarily a need, but when there's a craving or a desire for something, or you need something, and you've got two pennies to rub together, and it's not because you're not trying, it's not because you're not doing it, it's because, like me and many others, you know, one, on top of everything else, we're dealing with the grief of our children in the middle of a storm that we don't know whether our children are safe. We don't have peace of mind, we don't have clarity. I will always say to you, the first time I met David, the first thing he said to me is, you know, he was never ever party to proceedings. He didn't know what was going on. With everything that goes on, he doesn't even know if his kids are dead or alive. And that really is the reality of us that have had our kids taken. It's completely pot luck, mate, whether or not our kids make it through to the end of their days when they're 18 and we can finally legally put a call out for our kids. We haven't got a fucking clue what they're going through, how they're dealing with things, who's around them to help them deal and oversee what they're going through. We don't know. We don't know. We don't. I'm just going to go and see where there's some light. I'm just watching my window because the boys are asleep and Liam's up there, but once he goes to sleep, he's out with the light. So I'm just going to come under this light a minute. So it might be a bit bright, but oh, I've got my roller skates on, so if I fall on my ass, that's why. You see. But I've had to really come and thrash it out tonight, and there was basically, David's just asking what's the I'm assuming you're asking what the conference was. They basically had a big meeting about how they were going to deal with all this. If you have a look, I've already posted out the Telegraph, I think, or the Sun, putting the article out. I've already put it out. It's tomorrow's paper, but it's all, what I do is I have Google ranks in, and it comes up. But I was actually quite lucky. One of the other mums had shared this, so I don't know if Kylie was already on it. But basically, I've set into my Googles to make sure that anything to do with forced adoption, anything to do with child social services, paedophilia, all that sort of stuff, homelessness, anything to do with Step Up Britain, basically, all comes into my Google feeds. Because I've got an iPhone as well, I've got everything set. So the moment anything comes in, comes out, I'm on it. I know. And also, I've got about 8 or 9 friends who work for journalists and stuff. Don't forget, I'm gagged. I've got draconian gagging orders on me, and as much as people would like to do something, unless they're willing to put it to press the next day before it even goes out and sacrifice their jobs and probably even their lives, it's a lot to ask for somebody who doesn't know you ins and outs. And if you know me now and not the person that I was before, you probably wouldn't even like me. My own son probably wants to kill me. Dean can't live with me. I'm hard work. I'm hard work, and I'm hard work because I'm not going to stop until this is done. And Dean has found it really, really difficult listening to everything that I say, because he knows the truth himself, and he's had to bury it for many, 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 many years to be able to get on with his life as a DJ and an artist. His graffiti art has always been quite political, so they say. It was always done anonymously. He's about to come out with what it was all about, and why they did it, and who people were, and why it got ripped off, and why the collective never made any money out of it, and why the galleries used to steal it and auction it off and make money, but actually the graffiti artists have never made any money out of this art. So the whole thing was, it wasn't for sale. So put 2 and 2 together and work it out yourself. But like, he was a foster care kid himself, and he's trying to come live this week, and he keeps stopping and keeps starting and stuff like that, because he knows he has so much evidence on all of this, not only being in foster care himself, just because he used to dance and bang around. They always thought he was going to be a stuntman, and they diagnosed him with autism or Asperger's, and nobody ever really understood that. Like Shiloh, who's into his skateboarding and stuff, nobody ever got hold of Dean. Nobody ever saw the raw talent. He didn't go to stage school, he didn't go to music school, he's no qualifications in anything that he does. It's all raw, it's all natural, it's all just a street kid, finding Lila, hanging around in squats, hanging around with Spiral Tribe as a kid, being on Reclaim the Streets when they literally took the streets of London in 1994. He used to run away from the care homes because they used to come in to fuck the kids, and he used to have to deal with the fact that he used to get out the window, but his mate didn't, and his mate killed himself. And that's a lot for someone to get on within their own lives and deal with. So and then with the music industry as well, being offered a contract and taken to saunas and all this stuff, he wants it out. He has to live with it every day. So 2 of us living together, and don't forget, Liam's lost his brother and sister. He's now lost his partner and his son. He's here. He's dealing with his own grief, he's dealing with his own trauma, he's dealing with his own battles of depression and suicide, and so am I, and so's Dean, and we're overcoming it every day, we're facing our demons every day. But these are not battles that we should be fighting. The reason that we're fighting these battles is because people like these cunts tomorrow, who are pretty much saying that it's okay for a man to lure over a girl. I'll be straight up in front. I've got to stand up for this, but I'll be straight up in front. I just need to go and make sure my kids are alright and stuff like that. But I'll be straight up in front. I've told people from day one on all of this, I don't know the age that I lost my virginity, because my memories to do with everything that went on are pretty much propagated around Christmas, around going on holiday. I remember very clearly the time that my uncle, and when I say uncle, he was only 5 years older than me, he was a child, reacting out what his stepdad was doing, or his dad was doing to his sister and him, and stuff like that, and which they all still live together. They haven't actually outed it. I don't care, I'm going to out it. because the first time my dad told me that he believed me over everything that I went through as a kid was on my graduation day. And he said he had bumped into Sharon, which is Neil's sister, sorry, and she had broken down and cried and told my dad that what had happened to me was true, that her dad had been doing it to her and Neil. If they want to live together as a family, then that's completely up to them. If they want to live a lie, that's completely up to them. There's so many noises here, I can hear them because the window's open. Might have escaped just around and just stand under the window while I talk to you. You know, one of the challenges with any form of sexual activity where a child has grown up with it being completely the norm, it can sometimes take until someone's in their 20s, 30s to be married to somebody that they really trust, probably even marry them, and years down the road, and eventually it takes like for Walk for Justice, and I'm just going to stand under my window a minute. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's fine. I just don't want to get too long, because if they just wake up for their bottle or something and they just acknowledge that I'm not even around, then they might unsettle. So, and if Liam is asleep, he usually texts me to say he's going to sleep. Sometimes I'll have Amber on watching the kids while just so that she can message me, but it doesn't quite work with my phone. So, but anyway, what I found, because like the social worker, they basically said when I think it was about 7 or 8, that I had a histrionic personality, and a histrionic personality basically says that you're a sexually active child, and histrionic personality, so it basically says that you're a sexually active child, and there's you can't say that a child is sexually active. That's just not normal. It's not normal to have this concept, and I say that this is not normal coming from my own understanding. And I said on a live the other day, I'm a breastfeeding mum, and at no time in my life could I ever imagine how somebody could even comprehend that being something intimate and sex. It's intimate. It's intimate between me and my son as a mum and a son. But I'm saying the intimacy lays within the fact that I'm providing him with his food. I'm providing him with the enzymes that mature his body, grow his body, the brain capacity. I'm extending the longevity of his life by feeding him. It's like even me and Dean, we're in a 1-bedroom, we've got 2 kids, you're affectionate, and even us, we're like, and it's like our relationship is in turmoil because we don't have our own bedroom, and us as parents are really battling with this. What do? Do you sneak in the bathroom? How do you get away from the kids? And any couple will tell you that when it comes to your kids and your sex life, like some parents don't even kiss in front of their kids. They're not even intimate in front of their kids. They're not even, and that's not normal either. But I can't get my head around or grasp how they can say that it's completely normal for a man of, say, 41, my age, to walk past. I've had the kids all sat outside mine. They're all 15, 16, 17, 18. I have a laugh with them. I've always got on with my kids and kids' friends and things like that. But there's a line. I've had bants and jokes with my friends that, they were like seeing or had a boyfriend who was like 19, 20, 21, and I used to have a right laugh and a joke with them about it, like, you cradle snatcher and all this sort of stuff. But like, my mum was 15 when she was pregnant. My dad was 17 or 19, I don't know, but it was one of the two. And even in this, am I going to call my father a paedophile in the fact that he impregnated a 15-year-old girl? There is this line, I was going to clubs at 15, 14, and there is this line, and I was making out that I was 18, but did I ever actually put that on a man? No, I didn't, but in Raiders, I was with the New Surrey Raiders when I was a kid from the age of 14.
I was sleeping with 21-year-old men. You know, I was, even the band camp fucked me, major fucked me. You know, in fact, actually, where it was is every single one of them, and it wasn't because I was a slag or a whore. It was because I came from a place that if you say no to that stuff, the consequences on you were life-threatening, and it makes it very, very, very difficult, even in normal relationships. One of the challenges in schools and things like that, it's just that somebody's just walking past, it just slightly distracts me, but only because they don't know it's live. You have to sort of say to people, oh, you're live, your voice will go on live, do you know what I mean? So but where was I, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they say that the legal age of sex is 16. But this isn't just about sex, is it? This is about the fact that we're living in a society now where relationships don't work because people have got so many baggage. I always said to my boys that when you finally get married, then when you go to bed with every person you've ever slept with and their mothers. And I used to say this because, you know, oh, blessings, man's watching his girlfriend go home, walking backwards, making sure she gets through the thing and stuff like that. You know, like, yeah, I was saying a minute ago before I got distracted, like, you know, with my own father, I'd be classed as a paedophile because of this. And then, you know, and I look at the kids now, and I look at the kids that are in sexual relationships, and then I look back at mine, and I think, well, you know, it's okay. It's you're still on the mooch. I'm still on live, just in case. All this live is about my kids being kidnapped by the state and campaigning against forced adoption and homelessness and everything that goes on, and parent alienation, denied contact, paedophilia, child trafficking. So we're worldwide, aren't we, guys? So I don't know how many is on at the moment. So, but at the moment, I'm just talking about the fine line between 19-year-olds sleeping with 13, 14-year-olds, and how we protect.
Talking about that, love. Can't get me nut around it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Can't get me nut round it. I like that sentence. Can't get me nut round it. But the fact is, we've got to get our nut round it because, well, he doesn't have to get his nut round it. He just needs to try and find somewhere to sleep tonight. But, oh, do you know all the kitchen drop-off times, actually, for all the food things and things?
9 o'clock tomorrow down there.
You've got the one at the fountain, and then on Saturdays you've got the one outside square, and then the food thing is on at King's on a Thursday at 6, and then it's at St Luke's on Tuesday. Them ones.
Can I sleep on the stairwell? Around the dog?
I don't see why not. They have a go at you. You can sleep in my car if you want.
I'll stop, I can sleep anywhere, I'm knackered.
They'll move you out, that's the problem. That's the only thing with where we are. They move you out, the security and the...
I'll sleep in the car.
My car seats are in there at the moment, but if you want to throw them on the front, you can... Oh, will you nick my car? I don't think you'd nick my car. If you nick my car, you nick my car. Shall I show him on live in case he nicks my car? But I don't mind throwing the keys out, it's only there. I'm trying to think where else. I've got a shed. It's not quite...
Well, I think it's got to be better. Honestly, I walked about a minute.
But there is... I know, and Dean's the same. Dean's the same.
I've been at a police stage, hospital. Shit, man, the system's fun.
You want to talk about it live? My community would love to listen to it. Did you hear that, though? He said, I've had enough of it. The system's fucked. But, yeah, he's just saying he's tired. Not everybody wants to go on live and stuff like that, but literally I'm just sitting out front, and I nicked a paper off, a Rizzler paper off him, his last one, bless his cotton socks earlier on. So, But that's what people do around here. They just walk around, and like if you rest anywhere, sometimes you get moved by the police, or you know, you get people giving you hassle. But we got security in here because of people sort of sleeping in it. But you know what's silly? We've got a community centre there. They could easily be putting people in sleeping bags there from sort of like midnight till 7 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? I sort of know what made you homeless, don't I? Separation. Yeah, separation, as with most men.
18 years.
So they're quite interested in your story, actually. You don't have to talk properly, but
Oh, God.
how long have you been on the street?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So you're just getting used to it.
I get used to it at all.
Have you done it before? So you don't know the ropes. Hang around, Dean should be back soon. He'll show you the ropes. I've got a couple of friends. Do you know King's Church at the back there? Do you know where it is? They have a food bank on a...
Just get a ticket out, didn't you?
Yeah, but you can just go in and get bits. Have you got all your ID and everything? No. I'll tell you what, come and have... I haven't got coffee and stuff, but I'll be down here at about 10 tomorrow. I'm a bit guarded because I've got my kids and stuff like that, and I get shit with social and bits, but...
Right.
Do you want me to throw my car key down and sleep in my car tonight? Well, I'll be going up in a minute. Do you want to come and have a see where it is and I'll show you? You never done this before? No, I tell you what, it's not a... I've done it. My fella's done it his whole life, on and off. He's crying, bless his cotton socks. Guys, I'm going to shoot off, and I'm going to go and show this guy my car and let him have a sleep in my car, because everybody who knows, if you've ever done this for the first time, what these streets like, it takes a while to get the routes and things. And to anybody who is, Bristol's really good. It will give you a home pack and it will tell you where all the food shops are. There's lots of really great people that basically come out at silly o'clock sometimes. I do it, other people do it. Make sure that people have got some food and stuff like that. So, in fact, I might even get you to introduce you to Dave, because that's Dave's van, but he's not always here. So anyway, guys, I'm going to shoot off and I'm just going to go and settle in, and I will check back with you guys in a bit. I'll speak later.